You'll often hear people talk about how important the first 3 seconds are of your video, especially when it comes to short form content, and that you should have some sort of hook. These are usually spoken hooks with visual or text hook, all three. And for me personally, I like to use a spoken hook with a visual hook. And so in this video, I'm going to break down some examples of my own content and go through like the process of how I've decided what visual hook to combine with my spoken hook. Right, and so let's just get straight into it. So this example is basically where I'm trying to demonstrate the end result of the video in the first hook. So I'm just going to play the video and then talk through it. I turned these static images into paper folder animations in just one click with this brand new free tool. So the premise of the video is me showing people how to turn these static images into paper folder animations. And so all I'm trying to do is give people visual context here as to what that means. I could not have a visual hook here and basically say like, I'm going to show you how to turn static images into paper folder animations. If I don't have a visual hook, it means I'm leaving for interpretation what that means. I'm using the visual hook here to amplify my message and convince people that that's what they want. And I crafted this visual hook myself. I basically went in and chose specific images and then converted them to the paper folder animation. It took a little bit of time to create this visual hook. I'm not going to lie, sometimes visual hooks do take time to create. And I'll actually show some other examples where they don't take too much time. But for this one, I custom made this. I decided just to use like random images that I thought people might want to use. Like I'm in the visual hook, I'm always trying to make the stuff kind of relatable, make them not have to think, how would I use this or what would I use this for, if that makes sense. And so yeah, this was just an example of, you know, what they can expect to achieve by this video. You can see I did it in, the visual hook comes in like 1 to 2 seconds, super quick, like really quick. And I always try and do that in most of my videos. And so this is the next video. I'm just going to play it first and then talk through it. Here's a website with over 2,100 resources for creators and designers all in one place. So here, my hook is I've tried to throw a big number here, 2,100. I found a website that had a ton of resources, right? And like websites, and I want to take that 2,100 big number, and I also want to I know I can't show 2,100s or resources in a visual hook, but I was like, how can I demonstrate to people that there really is a lot of resources here? So that was my goal here. And luckily the UI of the website meant that, like, you can see here, there's just this long list on the left and then also on the right. So I just went through and just clicked it. Really easy to consume. So as I'm speaking, people can see, oh my God, there is a lot here. I want to watch this video. That's what I'm doing here. Slightly different than the first one where I'm showing like the result. This is basically teasing people, you know, what I'm going to show you in the video, because this isn't a tutorial. This is just you should go to this website and check out all of these resources. And, you know, I'm making people think that they're going to miss out by not going here because this is so valuable. And like specifically with this example, the visual hook doesn't always have to be like super fancy and super like creative and like, wow. It just has to really complement what you're saying. And so the next video I did for Shure, the MoveMic, and I really liked this video. I decided to do a match cut tutorial combined with like a product demonstration. I was super proud of like my concept for this because I'd actually seen Leo Keller do a video similar to this where if I play you
this effect is called a match cut.
So he used a MacBook like for his match cut, and I'd actually seen a lot of videos doing really well for just doing a match cut tutorial. And so my idea was basically, could I do that for the MoveMic? And so this is what I came up with. This is the Shure MoveMic, and that was a match. This is the Shure. So similar concept. This is the Shure MoveMic, and that was a match cut. I'm going to show and teach you about both. So this is where basically the visual hook is actually the main focus here. This isn't a spoken hook that's being amplified by a visual hook. It's the visual hook basically being the thing that draws people in, and then I give it context by doing the spoken hook. This is the Shure MoveMic, and that was a match cut. I'm going to show and teach you about. So that's kind of like the hook and the tutorial and stuff. And these kind of visual hooks at the start, this is the Shure, can be really good. They're like almost like pattern interrupts. And what I would recommend doing is if you go to the website iCandy, here you've got lots of different like visual effects that I think make really good like visual hook pattern interrupts, because they're just cool, interesting ways to either edit or like film things in certain ways. And you can get so much inspiration here, because often people I speak to go on here and they're not really sure how to use it. But what I think you should do is go on here and think about how you can use some of these techniques to create a really strong visual hook. And so the next example that I've got, I wanted to put this one in because I just really love it and it took me ages to make this. This is where I'm really trying to show off like and create a really visual stimulating hook. So I'm just going to play it for you. I just found this website that let me create all these custom animations for free with no watermark, no software needed, super easy to use and customize. You should definitely check this out. So this is called Modyfi. So this is a website that lets you create like custom graphic animations. And what I decided to do was essentially do like captions, like but in the style of all of the graphics. So I'm showing people the depth, because the valuable thing about this website is there's so many different options. And I was like, which options do I show? Like, and actually I was like, I want to show as many as possible. I just found this website that let me create all these. So there we go. I'm for free, showing everything, no watermark, off no here, whilst also actually saying, right, everything's for free, no watermark, super easy to use. This is all part of my spoken hook, convincing people to watch my video, like why I think this is valuable, whilst also demonstrating kind of the capabilities of the platform through the visual hook. I just love this one. It took me ages to do, and I just like the idea behind using a visual hook combined with actually like captions as well. I think this is a fairly intuitive idea. But you'll notice in this video, like, I just found it's this easy to read, right? Create all these and I'll talk about this in another example. The important thing is just like making sure that people can actually follow the text along. Like they don't have to like look anywhere. It was very difficult on this one because all of the animations are so different. I was trying to make sure that they are centered, and like I didn't use too many in order for because I missed out some words. So I was trying to make sure that people could still digest everything that was going on. Because that's super important. You have to, if you're going to show a visual hook and you're going to show it quickly, it has to be digestible quickly so that people don't really have to think about it. And I'll show you kind of an example in the next video where I also do it really quickly. This is Mr.Beast, it's one of 10, Mr.Beast ViewStats tool. Mr.Beast just launched ViewStats Pro, and this is a breakdown of all the features. So that's super quick visual hook there. Like Mr.Beast just launched 1 second, right? Mr.Beast is the value in this video. Like I know people know Mr.Beast. I want to say his name, and I want to also visually show him as well. And so what I did, and this is something that I do quite often as well, is sometimes I will use and leverage the assets or creatives made by the thing that I'm talking about. So in this one, Mr.Beast just launched. This is a video on his website. And I actually I watched it and found they also did a transition to ViewStats as well. So I went and recorded this video so that I could show, look, Mr.Beast just launched. So I could show Mr.Beast quickly, just after I say it. Mr.Beast just launched. So you can see Mr.Beast there. It's right in your face. As you can see here, look, I've not made you do any work. I've put my face right where his face is there. Look, you can see there. That's really intentional there because it's so quick. It's just launched View. And then I found it where they transitioned to ViewStats Pro. So it's perfect. So you've got Mr.Beast. Let me play it again. Mr.Beast just launched ViewStats Pro. And then and it transitions to the stats there. And then I come back. So just to give it, just to split it up a little bit. And then I go straight into the video. And you can do this a lot. Like, don't feel that you have to like be pressured to come up with this really fancy visual hook edit. I know I did talk about that in iCandy, but that's just giving you an option if you want to do it. But if you want to be lazy, just go and find other assets that you can use as visual hooks that already look like pretty like visually stimulating. And I did that for this video that I'm making for Canva as well. I basically, let me just play. Actually, I'm just going to talk about this as well. This is actually the video itself of me here is actually stock. So you'll see that it's not actually me speaking the same thing. I'm using a voiceover here. So I'm just going to play it through and I'll talk a little bit about that and the visual hook. Canva just launched a ton of new features and updates at Canva Create, and I'm going to show you what you need to know. So I wanted, this is about Canva and the features. I wanted a visual representation of from a ton of new features. They just released a load of new features. How do I visually show a load of new features? And I was struggling. I really was struggling. I couldn't think what to do. And so what I found was that they had a really good graphic on their website. This one here, new features and updates. I was like, wow, that's actually a really nice one because it starts off with this magic switch and then it goes into all of these. I don't need people to think about that. I'll just play it again. Canva just launched a ton of new features and updates. A ton of new features and updates, and you're glued to all of that. You can't really read everything. I don't want you to read everything. I just want it to like amplify a ton of new features. You can kind of understand, right? That is a representation of a ton of new features that Canva create. And I also then did the same thing. I found another video where they were on stage, and if you look here, I specifically place. I know that you're looking at Magic Switch because that's the first thing that starts. You're probably going to continue looking at, and Canva Create is kind of right in the middle there deliberately. So when I play it again, Canva just launched a ton of new features and updates at Canva Create. You see, it's happening so quickly, but everything is kept eyeline here. I'm not making people do the work. And I'm going to show you what you... And I'll explain why I haven't actually done the video here, because the reason why I do this, I do the voiceover first, because sometimes I'm not entirely sure what the hook needs to be, how quickly it needs to be said. Sometimes Canva just launched a ton of new features and updates at Canva Create. I might find a visual hook like during my editing process, and I might find that the spoken hook should be slightly tweaked a little bit, and also I slow down. Sometimes if you listen to this again, Canva just launched a ton of new features and updates at Canva Create, and I'm going to show you what you... I need to make sure that the pacing is really on point here so that I give enough time to show the visual hook. If your spoken hook is too quick, you don't give enough time for you to actually show the visual hook. So I often, like I said, will do my voiceover first, and then I'll then put the elements in, see what visual hooks work and what don't work, and then I'll then do the actual video itself so that I make sure the spoken hook is being aligned with the visual hook. And I do this for all of my videos. And if you want to actually check out that process in a little bit more detail, I have actually got a video up on screen now that you can check out.